Looking at this unit, it's not cooling very well. Customers commented that the condenser fan is not running. I can hear the motor humming. It's pulling 3 amps, so it should only pull 1.2. So let's see if we can give that a spin or something. No, I don't think we can reach it. Let's turn it off. Oh, well, that's good, isn't it? So much for that switch. They've had some other people working on this. Last time I worked on it, I was getting a shock when you turned all the power off, because they'd borrowed a neutral on another part of the system that was fed from a different isolator. So when you turned this off, it was still live. Anyway. See if we can get a longer screwdriver in there, see if that fan will actually turn in case it's seized. And this is a 120 watt motor. It should be a 180 watt motor like this one up here with a bigger blade. They've put a smaller blade on there, which is something. But looking at this, that's probably a 6 microfarad, and the fan should have a 5 if it's 120 watt. 5 microfarads, and that will be a 6 UF. Okay, we found a cable tie. That's long enough, so that's touching on that blade. It's not moving at all. And just to prove that you can spin a blade with a cable tie. Yeah. This one's seized solid, so it looks like the motor's seized up, which is odd because it's quite a new motor. I forget who it was. They had a Milwaukee ratchet like this, and I priced one up, and they were, once you bought the ratchet, charger and the batteries, you were sort of £200 or £300 here. I picked this Draper one up, which is sort of like a budget brand, but the stuff's okay. And I think the battery charger and the ratchet together were about £70. I think the charger was £15, battery was £15, this was a bit more. It does what I want. I can hear a noise, maybe it's the milk tank. We better have a look. Yeah, milk tank is here. I need to move the van. I've got that off. Yeah, oh, it is. It's solid there. It's very notchy. I can spin it now, but yeah, seized up for some reason. It's still tight, so it stops straight away. Right, we've heated that up pretty hot with the oxyacetylene. Hopefully we can get, I did get that to turn a bit. Yeah, it's turning. That's one of them. And we've just got the other one to see if we can get that to turn. Like I say, unfortunately these blades are obsolete now, so it's this or nothing. Right, I've got the blade off in the end. We've given it a clean. We've just nipped the grub screws up nice and tight. That's our new motor. We've given the old guard a clean. Just got to dry it. Get the motor back in the guard, and then get the whole thing bolted back on the condenser, and then we give it a short test run. We can't run it too long because the tanker's come and took the milk away, so we can't really run the tank empty. But we can give it sort of like a 30-second buzz just to make sure it's going to work. Right, we've got the motor back on there. I just got this sort of roughly positioned in the guard, and then once I've got the guard bolted to the condenser, I kind of line up the edge of the fan blade with like the 5th bar out, and do that the same sides, the other side, top and bottom, and then you know you've got the motor fairly square. So that's on there. We've just got to make the connections off now and change the capacitor. That might even be what killed the old motor if it's got too much. If it was a 6 not a 5, it might have cooked the start winding. Right, we've got our live wire, which is off of this, then goes to this blue, which is off of the fan speed control. So that get 240 volts into that, and it'll modulate what it puts out to run the fan at the speed to keep the head pressure up, because this system's got a heat recovery system on it. So when the water's cold in the heat recovery, you hardly need the fan to run at all. The neutral is in there with it's linked across from the crankcase heater, and also goes to the capacitor below. Now capacitor wire is in here, which goes to the yellow wire to the other side of that capacitor, which I've got to check. I one years ago, a mate of mine, back when I just started working, he'd gone out, found that capacitor was faulty, and he didn't have the right size, and he put a 10 on there, and he was quite pleased with himself in getting something going, and it only run a day and it burnt the fan motor out. So you're almost better going undersized rather than over if you haven't got the right one. Anyway, we'll get that changed, new one fitted. If it's good, I'll probably leave it in the box because it'll do as a good spare. There's no point chucking that away. It's a nice oil-filled one. It's probably better than the replacement. It's going to need to run for a bit, probably get a bit of head pressure up. That's the hot gas pipe going off the heat recovery, and then that's the return. That's getting a bit of heat in it now. There we go. A few bubbles in the side glass. Careful, there's no milk in the tank, so we don't want to run it for too long. That's the live wire, and then we should also have some current on the capacitor wire. If that capacitor was open circuit, you wouldn't have any current on that, on the start winding. It's a nice bit of heat in that liquid line now. Well, we're getting a bit of frost on there. I think we're going to shut it off. Put some spray in this and it's actually got it to turn. We just pop the dust cover off. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. There's a lot of it looks like rubber. It might be dried grease actually. I'm not sure if these have got a shield on them. Some of them have like a rubber dust shield, but as you spin it around, there's a little piece of metal that sort of has come out. Looks like a bit of the bearing cage. go, that's better focused. Here it comes again. So there's something gone wrong with that bearing. So like I say, it's not a very old motor. Well, it may well have been second hand when they put it on there. It's not been on there that long. Or it could have been on someone's van for a few years as a spare part. 9th August 10, that's dated. I might undo the bolts and see. Right, that one feels okay, but this one, that's the problem.